Hi everybody, this is Barbara Kurtman and I'm so happy to be back here again on Woofdriver's channel. And I hope there will be loads of you here today to join me. I look forward to you speaking, so please say hello and please come on. We've changed the times to 8 p.m. EDT time, so I apologize for those of you who were waiting me at 7 p.m. But I have posted a bunch of times to tell everybody that I will be here at 8 p.m. Hi, thank you for all those beautiful fingers that are going up. So I'm Barbara Kurtman from Animal Secrets, and I'm the animal communicator or the pet psychic. Hi, Hype. Hi, Linda Walters. Nice to see you. Hi, Clyde Boyta. Nice to see you too. So, like I said, I'm either, as you can call me, the animal communicator. Hi, Deborah Mason. Whitney, nice to have you. So, or the pet psychic. So I usually don't read on air, but I might end up doing it. But I wanted to say, hi, Stephen. Hi, hi, Joshua. Nice to have you. I'm great. How are you? Good to see you. I'm glad you made it today and found out that it's at 8 p.m. So, hi, Alexander Anderson. Hi, Amanda Wolf. So today I'm talking about more about animal communication and what it is, because I realized the other day that a lot of people don't really know what an animal communicator really is. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Hype again. So my name is Noor, actually. Okay, well, it says HYP. Hi, Amanda, again. Amanda Walsh. Hi, Charlie. Oh, I'm glad to hear you're good, Joshua. Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you again. So, my passion is, and people who've come to my show, you know that my passion is the animals. I love the animals, but I'm also a transformational healer and a conduit for coaching, I say, as well as an empath. And so I wanted to mention that on Thursday, this Thursday, the person who brings the most people to my show is actually two people are going to receive a lengthy reading from me. It didn't work out well last week. So this week, please promote, share with as many people as possible. Hi, Lorraine. If by chance I did not say hello to you, I promise I will say hello to you within the next 24 hours, and I will give you more information. And hi, I have a Shih Tzu Cavalier King Charles. Aw, is that the name, King Charles? Hello, Shiroz Khan. And so I promise that I will say hello to as many as possible after the show. If not today, within the next 24 hours. I always say hello to everybody. My neighbor Victoria has a chocolate lab. Aw, cute. So I always say hello to everybody. So on Thursday, share. Hi, Wolf Driver, because I will be giving away 2 free readings. So what you need to do is share and invite as many people as possible, and they have to post beneath you and say that they came from you, so that I know that they came from you in order to give you a reading. So, and then I ask you that I can do it on one of the shows within the next following week. That's all I ask of you. So, and something else very close to my heart, and like I said, I'm on Woofdriver's channel, and I thank Bill for being here because I love being here. Hi, Deb. If I don't manage to say hello to you, it's either because the news feed is moving too fast, or I didn't see you, or the fact that, I don't know, sometimes sometimes it just, I don't see all the people, but anyway. So getting back to what I was doing, I'm going to be talking about animal communication today a lot more and how I got into it. Cooper is his name. Okay, mine is that breeds and Cooper is his name. Okay, cute. And I'm going to talk about names sometime too, why names are so important and what names are about for dogs too. I'm going to get into that, yeah? I got a lot to talk to you guys about. So I do read a lot of my notes because otherwise I forget what I'm going to say because I don't memorize it, you know. So I want to talk about something really close to my heart. So you know, a lot of animals end up in shelters because the reason why they end up in shelters is because people don't understand their dogs or their pets. Hi, Charlie again. So they end up in shelters because People don't understand, why is my dog barking, or it's barking too much, or I can't leave my home, or with cats or whatever. And people believe that you can't ever train a cat, or you can't help your dogs, why they're always barking, or why they're going to snap at somebody out in the street, or another dog, or even themselves. Or why are they barking too much, or why do they bark at certain things? And so I'm going to get into today about animal communication, as I had said, and I want to make it a little bit clear. And so, because so many animals end up in shelters, if they had the knowledge of understanding why their pets are doing what they do, why they act the way they do, why they have these emotional issues, or what they reflect in their owners, because usually it's a reflection of the owner, or something that they want to tell the owner, to explain to the owner, and people just don't know it. And if they knew it, then they wouldn't give up their pets so easily and put them in shelters, either dogs, cats, or whatever. And it's in my heart that I would like to reach 1 million people, that we bring this knowledge out there, that either me as the animal communicator, that I can help these people, or somebody on Bill's site. Because Bill, he does a lot with Huskies, and he teaches, and this is Wolf Driver's site, Bill's site, and he teaches a lot about how to train Huskies and how to be with Huskies. And he also has Gigi, as another beautiful dog that he has, very beautiful dog. Or if it isn't me that can help, there's Joseph Falcone, who's a dog trainer, and there's Dean Miller, who's a dog behaviorist, also a dog trainer, and he's fantastic. So if it isn't me to help, there's one of the team, or there's Britt Savage, or there's Carol Gray. One of us can definitely give some good information out there to help, so we can keep the animals out of the shelter. And if people understood their animals better, then we can close down the shelters. And it's something very dear to my heart, because I've read so many stories, and I know a lot of people on Facebook, and they're always saying, well, the owner didn't do this, and the owner doesn't understand the dog. And I don't remember the exact stories, but it's always things that people just don't understand their pets. And so they lose their pets, and then a lot of senior pets don't end up, show me your Husky. Sheros, are you talking to me, or are you talking to somebody else? Because I don't have the picture of my Husky near me today. The Husky that I had, yeah, because I had to put my Husky down many years ago. So one of us can help out. So I want to reach 1 million people. So I'm asking you guys, and I need your help. And you're important. All of you are so important. And to share Wolf Driver's site. Because as I said, somebody on Bill's team, either Bill or any of us on the team, can help out. And to help people understand their dogs better and their pets better. And I'm going to get into my rabbit today. So please share, so that we can someday close down the shelters. And so that a lot of senior pets, dogs, cats, all sorts of animals, don't end up in shelters. So I was going to say that a lot of people think that when they can't leave their dog alone, or they can't leave home, or it seems their dog won't obey, or they just don't understand their dog's behavior, or the same with cats, like why cats are meowing. Hi, Olivia Jones McKeever. Nice to have you. Welcome. So, or your cats are peeing around the place. And is it a physical thing? Is it an emotional thing? What are they trying to tell you? And a lot of people don't understand that. And I'm here to tell you that, you know, if it's an emotional thing, if it's a metabolism thing, if you need to bring them to the vet, if it could be an animal psychic that could take care of things, I'm going to reveal something to you today that actually an animal communicator was able to help me save money on vet bills. So I'm going to share that today, which I never believed until that happened, yeah? So, hi, Hannah Rene. I will share. I love animals. You look very nice. Thank you so much. That's very sweet, Hannah. So do I. So, and then people wonder, why don't dogs or cats listen to me? And by the way, I've got to mention this now before I even get into things. The show goes by so fast. So, They also say that the dog, Joshua says, they also say that the dog is bad just because it barks, but it's just because a lot of people do not understand that their dog is just trying to talk to them. Exactly, Joshua. Hi, Hannah again. So that's it, Joshua. Exactly. The people don't understand that animals talk all the time, and it's not just in their bark, or it's not just in their meow, their behavior, the way they act. They want to express things. Exactly, Joshua. And that's what I want to reveal, and that's what we all reveal here, yeah? And that's why I love being on this site, because all of us love animals. Every one of us, yeah? So, or people don't understand why their dog wants to fight with other dogs, which I mentioned before, right? That is where we come in, what I said. So one of us will help. And I've already mentioned that, so I'm going to go on with my notes. So, as I said, I'm an animal communicator, and I communicate with the animals. And I'm going, like I said, I'm going to get more into that. And I talked about the shelters. So, I talked about getting out to 1 million dogs, 1 million owners. And so I'm also going to talk about in the future about the power of words and different experiences I had, and how love is the answer to healing. I mentioned last Thursday, and how our pets reflect us. Hi, Shazad Khan. And so what if and here's something. What if I could help your pet that is nervous and full of anxiety to relax? And here's something else I want to say before I get into how I got into animal communication. Is that yesterday was the 4th of July. And I know I'm sure a lot of dogs were very nervous. I can imagine, because it's so hard on the animals, and they don't really understand it, yeah? I always get emotional when I talk about this. And I know techniques how to relax your dogs in situations like that. So definitely, if you need to ever find out, or you want other people to understand better, here's my site here, so that, I don't know if you could see it, you can always sign up there or invite your friends. It's animalsecrets.wix.com/animalsecrets. Oh yeah, and I have a complimentary webinar coming up on August 20th. And so sign up. And so the fireworks, in the time of the fireworks, my cat, because I live in Europe, yeah, it's 2 a.m. actually here, but I wanted to stay up for this because it's important to me, and I like to reach a lot more people, because I want to reach 1 million people. So my cat, we always have, on New Year's, we always have a lot of fireworks, and she always got really, really scared. She got frightened to death. So I actually had used some techniques to help her relax. And it's difficult for me to do it on air. I can show you that in a webinar and stuff. But every time the fireworks would happen, I could see her. She was because we had a lot of firecrackers. Always on New Year's Day is the time that we have our fireworks. Yeah, I mean, I'm from the States, but I live in Europe. So, and I want to say pardon me for my English sometimes, because sometimes I end up messing up with English because I've been here so long. Wait a minute, let me see what Tracy says. I'm trying to teach one of my neighborhood kids about my dogs and how they don't always bark when they talk. How they don't always bark when they talk, to watch the dog and what's going on around them. Each dog has their own way to talk with us. That's true. And I can't see more, unfortunately, because I'm on the phone. So I will definitely read it when I'm back. And I would definitely write to you there, too. Because I write to everybody. That's beautiful, Tracy, that you're doing that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, everybody, and continue to share with me. And so what I was saying is that I helped my cat relax every New Year's because, she used to get so worked up with the firecrackers that it used to be like crazy. It was like a war. It was like somebody was mentioning on Facebook. It's like a war. And the animals are sensitive. I have one cat that it didn't matter, but my other cat, she was sensitive to them. And my husky was also sensitive to them. Because you take them for a walk and there's all these firecrackers shooting like crazy. So I have different ways that I teach. I teach techniques as well because I know many things. I'm not just an animal communicator. And an animal communicator does many things. Each one is different. Each one has extra specialties and many specialties. And I calmed my cat down every time there was New Year's. And she just suddenly just calmed down and she would not run anymore. I can tell you a little bit on here. I can't really show you, but I can tell you a little bit. One of the things I did is like well, I can tell you I can't really show you, so it's a little bit tough. But what I did is I used a technique, and with this technique I would put my hands on her, and I would talk with her, and I would relax her, and I would tell her she's safe, and everything's okay, and she's fine, and she's safe with me, and I'm here. And she's very safe, and everything will be fine. And with the technique and with these words, that calmed her down, yeah? So the combination helped her calm down. And every year I had to do it because she would just go crazy. She would just freak out. So I'd love to teach all of you of that. So I have learned so many life-altering situations, and today I want to continue to express more about these life-altering situations. But what I noticed, like I said before, is that some people don't know what animal communication is. So I want to express more of that. I want to talk a little bit more about Budweiser, because last week I mentioned Budweiser. So watch my last show, How the Power of Love Heals, whom I spoke about, and my rabbit, and one more story of a tight bond. If you all watched America's Got Talent, there's a guy that's really close to his dog, and it's beautiful, and he's got to act, and I hope all of you vote for him if they vote for him onward, because he has this beautiful bond with the dog, and I'll tell you about it later on before I get off. So I want to ask, how many of you have been to an animal communicator? And how many of you are aware of what an animal communicator does, really does? Because, like I said, a lot of people last week were like, no, I don't know what it does. So you can answer me if you want to. And if not, it's okay. So obviously, it's not moving right now. I don't know why. Maybe nobody's posting, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you how I got into animal communication. So I've moved 26 times in my life between 3 continents, and I moved with my 2 cats, Lydia and Gino, back to New York State from Europe. And I'm going to tell you about traveling stuff. Oh, you have no idea, Hannah? Okay, I'm going to express a little bit right now. So my cats used to get sick a lot, and I was constantly sick, and then my cats were constantly sick. And the vet's bills started to get really expensive. I mean, really expensive. I was like, why are my cats always sick? And at the time, I met this guy that I became very close with. He was a good friend of mine, and he happened to have 2 Malamutes, which is so close to Husky, which everybody who comes to my shows and knows my shows, my favorite dog is a Husky. And he happened to have 2 Malamutes, 2 beautiful Malamutes. And he mentioned to me about an animal communicator and an animal communication. And I'm like, what is that? My cats are sick. I need a doctor. I need a vet. What am I going to do with an animal communicator? So I had no idea what I was about to learn. It was amazing. And I'm still touched by it. And she told me something that nobody could have known. I mean, I'm very close to my brother, and I was very close to my mother. And they didn't know this at the time. Because when you live alone, nobody knows it. So she said, call me back. She was booked out as anything. And she said, call me back. And I didn't tell her anything, absolutely nothing. And she said, call me back, and I'll let you know what's going on. And I called her back, and she said, the lights went out in you. She was saying the exact words that I'm thinking in my mind, and maybe I was walking around my place saying it. The lights went out in me. And she was saying that, let me just read what Joshua said, and then I'll move on. My dog is my best friend. Before I got him, my life was in a real rut. I was depressed, not proud to say this, but I had thought of suicide multiple times. But now since I got him, I've been more happy. And I really feel for that, Joshua, because my cats mean more than anything else in the world to me, and have always. And my kitten means everything to me now, too. So he's a little bit of a bad boy. Well, he's not. He's playful. I can't say he's a bad boy. So, like Dean Miller said, sometimes a dog trainer, just like an animal communicator, has to learn more lessons with their pets. And you can have a difficult pet, which means lessons for me to learn. So back to the animal. Thank you for sharing, Joshua. I'm going to share about that America's Got Talent guy, because that's very similar. And I felt like that last year when I put my cat down. I felt like I didn't want to be here anymore. But I know why I'm here, and I'm here to share this, and I want to reach 1 million people. And I really do, because I want to transform it. Hi, Angel. Nice to have you, Angel Alvarado. So getting back to animal communication. So she said, call me back. So she said, the lights went out in you. And I'm like, the lights went out in me? And then I was like, oh, my God. And it's like I would think in my head all the time, and probably I said it, yeah, the lights went out in me. The lights went out in me. So what does that mean when you keep saying the lights went out on you? And she said to me, she said, your cats keep getting sick because you keep thinking and saying the lights went out on you, which means that you want to die, that you're not in a happy place. And I said, oh, my God. And she said, when you change the way you feel and want to live and change your attitude, your cats are going to heal and they're going to get healthy. And I'm like, I was really taken back by that. I was really, really taken back by that. And I was intrigued because I used to call her actually quite a while, you know, because at the time I was in New York State, I got sick a lot, yeah. And then when I came back to Europe, I got sick a couple times. And when she told me that, I said, oh, my God. And I swear to you, I stopped saying that. I stopped thinking that immediately because by me not thinking that, my cats they healed. They automatically got healthy. I got healthy, and they got healthy. It was an automatic reflection of me. So that's some of the things that an animal communicator does. An animal communicator looks and sees what's going on with you. And, well, she did that, and she connected it to the pet. And that's why I do the connection of seeing what's going on in you, and that's why it's connected to your pets, and that's often a reason why they get ill. So I wanted to say that, you know, I was talking to Bill last week after the show, and I said, every time I get off these shows, I can't sleep anymore, and it's late in the morning here. And I said, and he goes, yeah, it's like an adrenaline kick, isn't it? And I said, yeah. He goes, I hear you, because the both of us, we love animals so much. We love dogs so much. And it's just, I get so happy and excited, and I love to share, and I love being on these shows. And I love, you know, to give as much information as I can. So, as I told you, and I have to tell you, after my cats got healed at that time, no more vet bills. I mean, I saved my vet bills. That's why I call myself Animal Secrets, where I save people time, energy, and money to help you have happier and healthier relationships with your pets. Because it's the truth. And nothing against the vets, but after talking to that animal communicator, yes, I paid her, but let me tell you, I saved a lot of vet bills after that. And she wasn't very cheap either, I have to tell you, but she was worth it, because she taught me a lot. And you know, at the time that she was telling me about my cats, I'm like, about me? I thought, wait a minute, I'm coming for my cats. I'm coming because my cats are sick. What do you mean you're telling me about me? What do I have to do with my cats? And she revealed to me I have everything to do with why my cats were sick, you know. So, and she was really booked out, let me tell you. So, I'm moving on here. Let me see. So, wait a minute, because I told this story. That's why I read my notes, because if I don't read my notes, I forget what I'm going to say. So I wanted to say I would have never imagined that I didn't know that my cats getting sick correlated with me and reflected back to me. And that is what the animal communicator had taught me. And she showed me what I was doing. She showed me what I was thinking. She showed me how I played a huge role in how my pets acted and how they felt and why they were healthy or not. And I have to tell you, that was a wake-up call for me. That was a big wake-up call for me, and it really was. And the time that my Lydia was medically dead, transforming my attitude, feelings, and behaviors helped transform her life to live 10 more years. So, so an animal communicator helps you see what you're feeling and see what you're reflecting and see what you're saying, and helps you connect to your pets and actually back to yourself. And so I told you before that I'm doing a complimentary webinar on Saturday, August 20 at 1 p.m. and I'll teach you some tools. And what I was thinking to do on one of these shows is maybe I can help you guys connect with your pet. Britt Savage had a great idea. She's mentioned it like pretty much twice, and it's actually absolutely fantastic. And I thought it might be a nice idea if maybe I could do like a little meditation sometime soon and see if I can connect you to your pets so you can hear what your pets are trying to tell you. Because you can ask them any questions you want to ask them, but you need to get really quiet and really peaceful so that you can hear their messages. And otherwise you can't hear their messages. You have to be really quiet, but you can ask them whatever questions you want to ask them, yeah? So, yes, and so going to the animal communicator is what really... Hello, Cheryl. Welcome to have you. Nice to have you. Hi, Mary. My bio saved my life. Aw, that's very sweet. So, oh yeah, before I went to the... so I decided that I wanted to go to an animal communication class, and I wanted to learn what it was about to be an animal communicator, because I thought, wow. But I had no idea that I already knew how to do it. I thought that you had to learn special skills and everything. I didn't realize it was our innate ability. And I used to go to the spiritual school, and my friend said, well, we've already learned it. And I said, what do you mean we've already learned it? And she goes, you'll see when you go to the animal communication class that you already know it. And sorry that I'm talking like Speedy Gonzales. Time is moving so fast. And she said, we've already learned this already. And I said, we've already learned this and I already know this? And she said, yeah. So she said we learned healing, and we learned sending and receiving, sending messages and receiving messages, getting in touch with our intuition and our sixth sense, and feeling into things, and clearing our energy. And she said also clearing the clutter. And she said, I had no idea. I already knew that. And I didn't know that I could read their thoughts and feelings. Hi, Raquel, Lynn, nice to have you. So until I went to the class, I didn't even realize that I could pick up things and just knew things. Because we had done so much focusing, so much centering, so much clearing our energy. And never doubt the messages. One of the things is never to doubt the messages. Because when you're in sync and you really listen to your inner voice and your inner world, and you trust whatever information comes through, or you feel... and you'll feel that it's correct, you'll just know that that is the answer to what your pets are trying to tell you. And you could always ask them questions, yeah? And I'll get into that. And I've got so many things I want to get into on a future show. I mean, we're getting close to the time now. So, like I said, and I want to say again, I'd love to reach 1 million people to keep them out of the shelters, yeah? So... I wanted to get back to Budweiser from last week that was an abused dog, yeah? And how the power of love had healed him. So I was telling how animals take on sicknesses and diseases from our owners. And my friend was experiencing seizures in the past. And one day, she had a seizure and Budweiser was present. Budweiser was he was an amazing dog. As we talked about last week. Listen to my last show, those of you who are new. And the animals, because they take on sicknesses and diseases from their owners very often. So my friend had experienced seizures in the past, and one day she had a seizure, and she noticed that Budweiser had a seizure. So soon after that, Budweiser began to have seizures like her, and so she began investigating ways that she wouldn't have seizures anymore, so that he wouldn't mirror her and the effects of her illness. And in her research, she found a negative pole magnet, and she placed it on her head, and she cured herself of the seizures by using this magnet. And lo and behold, she had these seizures before in her life, but never sought healing for them. It took her knowing and being with Budweiser that prompted her to heal, to find a way to heal herself. She never bothered to try to heal herself until Budweiser. So then she cured her, he helped her cure herself, which helped him cure then in the end, because he got the seizures because of her. And he was a direct mirror of her, and he reflected her. And I'll get into that in another show. But what she did after using the magnet and not having seizures anymore, she didn't just wait for the energies to change. She gave it a boost by using the same negative pole magnet on his head, and that shared the magnet that healed both of them. So, and he didn't put up any resistance because he had trusted her from everything from all the connection that they had. And the two of them had this connection that was so strong that really kept them so together. And they had such wonderful love for one another. So over 12 years, he lived 12 more years, I have to say. So some of you who weren't here last time, you may want to listen to Budweiser, my story of Budweiser last time. So now we're at 30 minutes again. I can't believe it. Time goes by so fast. So please, please remember I'm not going to get into my rabbit today, so I guess I'll get into that on Thursday. So please, please invite your friends on Thursday, and invite as many as possible, and have them post after you, so that I'll pick 2 people to do a reading, and it'll be a lengthy reading, and to work on their dogs, the person or cat, whatever, and so that the person who shares the most posts, and they say they came from you, I'll choose you, and I just want to have the readings on the show, and like I said, I'd like to reach 1 million so that we can shut down the shelters, and really so that we have no more no-kill shelters, because that always breaks my heart. Thank you, Hannah. I hope you learned something from it. So once again, this is my site, animalsecrets.wix.com /animalsecrets. So if you want, I do give a 15-minute complimentary reading. So if you want one, I can connect with you, or connect with me at Barbara Kurtman on Facebook, or Total Life Transformation. And I give 15-minute free complimentary, but the one who wins for Thursday is going to be a very, very long reading for free. So share as many people as possible. Share as many as possible. And bring as many as possible that say they came from you. Okay, so I loved being with you all again, and I love being on Wolf Driver site. I'm thankful for Bill that I'm allowed to be here. I talk so fast again, and I repeated myself a couple times because I didn't read my notes. Carol, as far as I know, is coming on right after me, so tune in to Carol. She's awesome, and she's also very, very lovely. And I'm sure she'll teach you some really good stuff as well, because I know last week she had tips for the 4th of July. They were great tips for your dog. And so tune in. We have so many great people on this site. And Bill is, as you know, awesome with his 5 dogs. He's just really lovely with his Huskies and Gigi. So I'm tuning off. This Barbara Kurtman. I'll be on Thursday again at 8 p.m. Remember, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. EST time, okay? So, see you on Thursday, okay? Bring a lot of people. Bye.